Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm Fuchstanz or Lilith and I'm glad you're here. Today's video starts off again with some impressions from some walks I took. I just really love the sky and it's always inspiring me, and we recently got some snow, so I was really happy about that and I just wanted to share the beautiful sky with you. I hope you enjoy this video, and yeah. So for today's video I wanted to test out some Arrtx pastel marker. They're the pastel set, obviously. It's not really a review because I just wanted to test them to see how the colors are and how the pens are working, etc. So I'm not recommending them per se. I'll just give you my quick impression of them as I was using them for this illustration. For the motive I chose to do a portrait of a girl because I felt like that was the easiest way to test them, because it's just comfort zone drawing and I wouldn't have to get out of that comfort zone, try something completely new. And yeah, I think it was a good idea to do just for testing these markers essentially. The marker set comes with 4 marker pens, and unfortunately they are pretty similar in shade. There are other people who reviewed these markers and I think they did a way better job, so you should probably check them out. But I will say that the tones are very similar. Like, I feel like you could just get 12 markers and have a better variety than all these 40 ones, but I mean, they are pretty pastel and I think it's pretty unusual for a marker brand to have such pastel shades. The only brand I know that does really light shades is Copic. They do it very well, but obviously they are very expensive. So I think Arrtx did a really good job with this set if you're looking straightly for very pastel shades that are very similar. But I mean, it's not super bad. I just wish you'd get a few different shades just for the price point. And yeah, I mean, the pens aren't bad. Actually, I quite love them. I think they are a bit better to hold than the Copic markers, because the barrel is so thick. I think it's more ergonomic and it doesn't strain your hand as much when you're using them. Also, the brush tip is really nice. It's really stiff but also flexible, and the point of the tips is really fine, so you can get a lot of different weight with your lines or with your shading, I suppose. Yeah, I think I like the brush tips more than on the Copic markers, which I have quite a few. So if you're looking for a good alternative, I'd say go for them. They're pretty inexpensive in comparison and they have a variety of shades, even though I think that the color sets tend to be a bit too repetitive with the shades they're having. And I think a few other people would agree with me on that, as far as I can tell from reading reviews. Like, a person said that she got the green set and the shades were very similar, so keep that in mind. But yeah, The colors apply very well though. Like I said in my last video, I think they go down very smoothly and without streaks or anything. You can layer them quite nicely, I feel. And if you're getting a set like the Arrtx in collaboration with Ree, I think you get a better variation of colors. Unless you're getting the really big sets with a lot of colors. So just a thing to keep in mind if you're just wanting to try them out. I'd go for a Arrtx collaboration box instead of a just colored one, just because I feel like the colors are too similar, but I think I'm repeating myself at this point. So obviously for this illustration I wanted it to be pretty pastel, and I think it turned out quite cute. I wish the hair turned out more green. When I swatched the color, I think it was very green, but looking back on it, I think it looks a lot more yellow than green. But I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. Also, the shading was a bit harder. I think you can tell on her tongue. I didn't have a deep enough shade to really shade her tongue the way I wanted it to, but since I was using some colored pencils later anyway, I don't think I really mind. Actually, I quite love doing the shading with colored pencils when I'm using markers, just because you have a lot more control and precision when it comes to the shading, and usually colored pencils will go very smoothly over markers, especially when you're using marker papers, so I don't mind using them. Mixed media is always welcome, but I think I used quite a few shades out of the set, so you can judge for yourself if there's something you're interested in. The other shades are very similar, so you can judge the pastel element of it maybe by this illustration I thought as at least. And I don't know if it's just me, but the character I drew reminds me of a character from Boku no Hero Academy. I just watched the first season and then dropped it, so I don't really know her name, but she's blonde and has buns, and she wears a seifuku, I think, and I don't think she's a hero. But yeah, let me know what her name is down below if you know what I mean, and if you think she looks similar. It could just be really the hair color and the style of it though. And as I said, I was shading the illustration with my Polychromos by Faber-Castell. They go very smoothly over it, I also really love them because they are oil-based, so they tend to be very smooth to blend. And if you're in Europe, I think they're not too expensive. I've heard that if you're in America, Canada and stuff, that they can be quite expensive because they're imported, so not quite sure, but at least here they are affordable for artist pencils, at least. And again, I was lining the piece after I was done with coloring, and I used my fountain pens again, just because I know they work really well and I get a good line variation from them. Especially the line variation is why I use fountain pens. I could obviously use fine liners, but they don't give me that range I'm looking for in line work. So I used my online fountain pen with the brown ink to line the hair and the more subtle details. And for the eyes I was using the Lamy Safari, I think, with the extra fine nib for the eye makeup essentially, and where I wanted the line work to pop a little bit more. And I think lining this piece is always so fun. It just really adds a lot of contrast and attention, I think. before it looks very soft. I mean, it still looks soft after I'm done lining, but it looks more intentional, at least in my opinion. And again, I was adding some details with the Molotow liquid chrome to the piercings and her accessories, just because I really like it and it gives it more interest when you look at it in person. And I just really like the liquid chrome and it's just very neat. As I'm finishing up this illustration with some pen white by Dr. P.H. Martins, I hope you like this illustration and my opinion on the Pastel set by Arrtx. Again, there are better reviews out there. I was just trying to test these markers, see if I like them. So if you want, you can give this video a like, leave a comment. Subscribe, I would really appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!